For those who've experienced victory, defeat is all the more agonizing. Now, in Monaco, just a single champion remains.
I've won many titles. Winning title is always amazing. It's something great for me and for everybody around me. I just won the first place again.
But thwarting the claims of ambitious opponents is no easy task.
Having a big title will be amazing. I will do whatever it takes to win it.
Winning a title, it's for every poker player, is a huge thing. It doesn't matter if it's for 10K or 1 million. If you get a trophy, you always feel good.
Ça représente une expérience exceptionnelle avec un gain d'argent astronomique. Voilà, puis ça représente le rêve de tout joueur, c'est de gagner un trophée.
6 will advance. 5 will suffer defeat. The final table is decided tonight.
There's a warning on the back of this love. Take a little and you can't get enough. It's a devil's game, but I just can't give it up.
We're at the business end of the 5K main event here in Monte Carlo, with only 11 players remaining from the 727 who started. So far, the penultimate day of the tournament has seen Monaco's newly crowned national champion Andreas Klatt get dealt kings twice in quick succession, making him a strong contender.
Sousa gets clatted.
There was a David versus Goliath battle, with amateur player Michael Kolkovic taking on previous champ Davidi Kitai and winning a decent chunk of his stack. But the session ended with frustration and the elimination of Elke. His long wait for another title continues. The final table is rapidly approaching. Just a few more eliminations and day 5 is a wrap.
Well, I wouldn't expect this to go all wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, Jimbo, because every decision being made here has real money, cash implications attached. Plus, nobody wants to fall short and miss out on a shot at the title.
Pains me to say it, but you make a good point. Remember, only 6 players will make it to the final day. 2012 Berlin champion Davidi Kitai certainly expects to be at the final table, accompanied by a very special someone.
I'm with my fiancée, Caroline. We travel together. When you are on the good run, the support means a lot, but when you are on bad run, it means a lot more.
Michael Kolkovic is flying solo, but his special connection to the Salle des Étoiles gives him all the motivation he needs.
Je considère que cette salle me porte vraiment chance. Si j'avais pu choisir de gagner un tournoi, je voudrais le gagner ici, dans cette salle, là où je me suis marié. Ce serait une histoire incroyable.
But the favorite to dominate proceedings is Romain Nardin. He has the chip lead and a fearless attitude.
I won't feel pressure. I'm not afraid of anybody, actually. So we'll see what happens, but I'm really confident.
Day 5 of the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino continues. I'm James Hartigan with Joe Stapleton.
Hello, my babies. Hope you got your curfews extended. We could be pulling an all-nighter.
The final 11 about to retake their seats, including Davidi Kitai.
That's not a backpack, it's his fiancée, Caroline. Michael Kolkovic may be an amateur, but it's not his first rodeo. Yeehaw. Raffaele Sorrentino, let's just assume I made a pasta joke and move on.
There's the man with the biggest stack.
Romain Nardin's mother writes romance novels. That's gotta be weird.
Online qualifier Maxim Paniak is having a great day 5. He's taken out several players so far.
Paniak at the disco.
Well, we're 5-handed on the secondary table, where Diego Zaita is in the danger zone.
Danger zone!
The two Russians, Panyak and Bondar, are table bosses, but the two biggest stacks are on the main stage where we're six-handed. Romain Nardin, still chip leader. Andreas Klatt, the only other player over 3 million. Khatai and Pertea are the shorties. Blinds right now, 20,000, 40,000 with a 5,000 ante. Action on Michael Kolkovic. 7-6 suited.
He doesn't have to raise this, but six-handed, it's fine. I'm sure he'd be doing it if we were 11-handed.
He opens to 115,000. King, queen for the chip leader. Nardin calls. Pertea folds. Klatt gives up the button. Khatai folds the small blind. Raffaele Sorrentino is in the big blind. He's got pocket nines.
I really hate nines in this spot. You don't want a 3-bet call. You don't want a 3-bet fold. You can't just fold. And when you call, you're out of position to 2 players.
Well, he makes the call, and we are going 3-way to the flop.
It's like the red 9 is a rock and the other red 9 is a hard place.
Jack 7-3 on the flop, so Kolkovic pairs his 7. Sorrentino still ahead with nines. He checks.
7 is almost the best hand.
Kolkovic was the pre-flop aggressor. Looks like he's loading up to make a continuation bet. 225,000. Nardin missed this flop. He folds.
Kolkovic thins the field a bit, but I do not think Rafa can fold to 1 bet with just 1 overcard out there.
He calls. We go heads up to the turn, which is the deuce of clubs, so Kolkovic now has a flush draw to go with his pair of 7s. Sorrentino checks a second time. Kolkovic checks behind. And rivers another 7. He now has trips.
That's going to make it a little harder for Sorrentino to call a river bet, but who cares? Kolkovic is winning this pot no matter what.
Action checked to Kolkovic. 845,000 in the pot. He's betting for value. 540,000.
Remember how annoying pre-flop was with 9s? Well, things just got a whole lot more annoyinger. All right, now here's what Rafa's got going for him. Thread. Kolkovic isn't really the type to take a break on the turn from his bluffs and then come out swinging again on the river. 1 of 3. The sizing of this bet is generally going to be weighted toward value. 2 of 3. This is a really bad card to bluff on. 3 of 3, and thread.
Well, it's decision time for Sorrentino. His best result to date was a 10th place finish in London in 2014. He would like to make the final table this time around.
Time.
Clock called. Ooh.
Just you call time, you think 7 minutes every hand.
Yes, I know.
So I'm gonna call you time every time, you know.
Uh-oh.
But it's not for the time, it's for the game.
For the game?
Yes.
You think 10 minutes. What you think about the game?
So take 10
It's
minutes.
okay, I have 1 minute. You can wait 1 minute or not?
Yes.
So wait.
Sorrentino does have a point. Kolkovic doesn't have a reputation for making quick decisions.
Well, it's also funny because players, when they're in the hand, they don't usually call the clock because they don't want to give anything away. Kolkovic does not care.
Sorrentino makes the correct fold.
Nice, you call a time because I can fold. If you don't call a time, possible I call and muck. So now you don't think a lot, eh?
He definitely wasn't thinking about that, and honestly, that's one of the thinnest reasons I've ever heard for not calling the clock.
Things getting a little bit testy because we're getting close to the really big money now. Everyone's guaranteed more than 44,000 euros. 6-figure scores for the top 6, more than €500,000 to the champion of the Monte Carlo main event. Well, back at the feature table, there is an all-in. Pertea has shoved with King Jack. Davidi Kitai has a dominated hand and is thinking about it. He calls, putting Pertea at risk. The Romanian is a better than a 2-1 favorite to survive.
Carolina's stressed, and she hasn't even seen its domination nation yet.
Now she has. She's calling for a queen.
That's very cute.
There it is.
Wow, it worked.
B2.
Come on now.
À 2 maintenant.
Don't get greedy.
2, 2, 2, 2.
The turn card is another queen.
What?
Pertea drawing dead.
Good luck.
It's like a song. Dum 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 dum.
That feeling when you realize your use of sorcery might also have been an etiquette breach.
An 11th place finish for the man from Romania.
You're Romania?
Davidi Kitai still on the low side with half the tournament average, but his stack is moving in the right direction as the final table approaches here in Monte Carlo. Here in Monaco, Davidi Kitai is one step closer to the final table, thanks to some help from his biggest fan. With just 10 players left and still one of the shortest stacks, Khatai will need all the support he can get. Here at the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino, the blinds are 25,000, 50,000 with a 5,000 ante. Action's been folded to Romain Nardin. He has 9-6 of hearts in the cutoff.
Oh, go on then. You and your chips.
He raises to 125,000. Andreas Klatt is on the button with ace-queen.
Well, look what the Klatt dragged in. Now you can 3-bet this, or you can call and not play a huge pot with ace-queen off. I think you can tell by my tone which one I think he should do.
Well, he does decide to call and play the flop in position. We still have the big blind to act. Sorrentino passes. The flop is ace, jack, 7, top pair for Klatt.
And if you're real optimistic, Nardin's got straight and flush draws.
Well, the chip leader is going to keep up the aggression, continuing into a pot of 350,000 for 155,000. Klatt calls with the best hand.
Everything pretty normal here so far.
What were you saying about optimism, Joe? That is a heart draw and a gut shot straight draw for Nardin.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants. This is the perfect time to keep betting relentlessly.
The second barrel of 370,000.
Top pair, very good kicker. Klatt really can only do one thing here.
He calls as a 3-1 favorite. The river card couldn't be brickier. The deuce of clubs.
One man's trash is another man's treasure. It's a terrible card for Nardin, but it's a great one for Klatt.
So Nardin semi-bluffed the turn. We may see a pure bluff on the river. Sure enough, 625K.
This basically went from a super wet board to one that totally dried up on the river. My point is, I think Klatt's always calling here.
He calls. Nardin will show 9 high.
I think Nardin was expecting to fold some better hands, but probably not ace-queen.
The Queen of Hearts.
With the Queen of Hearts in his hand, Klat actually blocks a lot of Nardin's flush draws, and Nardin's mad that Klat should have known that and he called him anyway.
Well, Klat has just taken the chip lead from Nardin. He's the boss with 4.6 million. Meanwhile, at the other table, Papazian is all in with ace-10 against Bondar's aces. At least he sees the funny side of it.
We could be down to one table.
10 on the flop.
May have spoke too soon.
Papazian needs a 10 on the river. Tries to buy it, doesn't get it. Alexandru Papazian out in 10th place. He cashes for just over 44,000 euros as Andre Bondar chips up. Well, with Papazian's exit, we're down to just one table of 9. It's time for the final redraw of the tournament. Right now, Davidi Kitai and Moritz Dietrich are the players at immediate risk. Andreas Klat leads the way. Romain Nardin sits just below him. And here's the result of the redraw. We go from short-handed to 9-handed. And I'm sure Romain Nardin will be thrilled to have position on the aggressive Michael Kolkovic. Blind still 25.50 with a 5k ante.
One big happy... Oh, that was supposed to be Elke's spot.
Moritz Dietrich first to act. Pocket 10s. He raises from under the gun, makes it 120,000. Michael Kolkovic folds. Maxim Paniak is out. As is Romain Nardin. Andre Bondar passes. Chip leader Andreas Klat. King 6. Not going to play this one. Davidi Kitai folds. Diego Zaita gives up the small blind. Pocket 7s for Raffaele Sorrentino in the big blind. He defends. The flop is Jack 5-4. Dietrich is a huge favorite. He's got the better pair, the better flush draw. It's been checked to him.
Don't forget the better sweater.
He does not continue. He checks behind. 7 of diamonds on the turn. That's a set for Sorrentino.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
And he's going to lead for 155,000. Only one overcard to Dietrich's pair.
Don't forget that pretty good flush draw.
He calls. The river is the 4 of clubs, pairing the board. Dietrich has roughly pot behind.
All in.
And Sorrentino shoves on him.
Wow, this is a more annoying spot than Lady Macbeth's laundry. Read a play. Sorrentino is not going to be bluffing too much. 10s here are mostly just beating bluffs, and there aren't a ton of bluffs on the board. Dietrich's got 1 spade, but that doesn't really do much to stop Sorrentino from having a huge hand here.
All in to call.
I call.
And with that call, we will see the elimination of Moritz Dietrich in 9th place.
Dietrich done.
All right. Good game. Have fun, guys. Good game.
He cashes for nearly 60k.
Dead, done, dusted, door.
All right, thank you.
Raffaele Sorrentino, now third on the leaderboard with a stack of 3.2 million.
I'm Raffaele Sorrentino. I'm from Italy, and I'm a professional poker player. Yeah, I discovered poker. I was in Calabria. I saw Dario Minieri in the TV, so I try. I start with the free roll, and later I play sit and go like €1, €3. In the beginning, my mom told me every time, why you play poker, you're gonna lose the money. So one time, I was on the final table of the big tournament in Italy online. And she come to my room and said, why you play poker? I said, Mom, I'm in the final table. Please, it's 50K for first. And she said, no, really, it's 50K for first? I said, yes, but let me play, please. And we make like a deal. If I make second, she said me, I don't gonna tell you nothing anymore. You gonna play. So I won this tournament, and now she's my fan, my best fan.
My mom wouldn't even let me watch wrestling.
Wouldn't or won't? Blinds are up to 30,000, 60,000. Action's been folded to Sorrentino. Let's sweat with Raffaele and play this hand from his perspective. Ace-Jack in the cutoff.
Raise. Job done.
Well, there is the raise to 130,000. Gets a fold from Kolkovic. Achievement unlocked. Nardin is in the big blind.
Wait, so you mean we don't get to see what he has?
No,
This is crazy. How am I supposed to do commentary with one hand?
it's just like real poker. Imagine you're Raffaele Sorrentino.
All right.
So Nardin is called. The flop is Jack 5-4. Top pair, top kicker. Happy now?
Hot dog.
Nardin checks.
We're gonna bet. I don't know, about this many?
A continuation bet of 130,000.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. 130,000. Just what I was thinking.
Nardin calls. This hand going to the turn, which is the deuce of clubs. Well, that puts a flush draw out there. A straight is also now possible.
I think we can keep betting this. What am I missing?
So Nardin is checked. 630,000 in the middle. Sorrentino barrels for 260,000.
You know, this would be a lot easier if we could see his cards, right? Just saying. We have the technology.
Uh-oh. Nardin. Check raises to 635,000. What's he repping?
That is a very good question. I think we pretty much have to call. We've got dang near the top of our range, and we've got outs against two pair and sets. Looks like Raffaele agrees.
Sorrentino calls.
Make no mistake, we're really hoping for a free showdown.
6 of hearts on the river, so the club draw doesn't get there, but the board has just got straightier. Nardin checks.
We'll take it.
Sorrentino checks behind. 8-6 for Nardin. He had a straight draw on the turn, and he rivered second pair. Well, if you guessed Nardin's hand there, maybe you're ready to play a main event. You can qualify right now at PokerStars.com. Start of day chip leader Romain Nardin seems to be in free fall. Losing a number of pots, he now sits with a below average stack. A decent chunk of his chips went to Raffaele Sorrentino. He's been going from strength to strength, and he's pretty much guaranteed a spot in the final 6. Right now we have 8 players in the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino. The blinds are 30-60, and Davidi Kitai is the super short stack with just 8 bigs. Action folded to Andreas Klatt.
I'm a kitty clap. Meow.
The chip leader passes, so it's round to Khatai.
Okay, let's see.
He has ace, 9 of clubs.
He's in relatively early position, so he's probably a little worried about that.
I'm all in.
He decides to go for it. Gets through Diego Zaita. And Raffaele Sorrentino. Kolkovic folds. Paniak has jacks.
This guy is across all the yaks. He is pan-yak. He is also pan-jack and definitely not folding.
He calls out of the small blind. Nardin folds the big blind. The cards go on their backs. And Caroline is already calling for an ace.
Sorry. I'm so sorry for you.
Even Panyak's tickled.
No ass. Maybe the turn?
She's a machine.
We are going to lose Davidi Kitai unless there is an ass on the river. Boom!
What the actual? This is fairly unbelievable. What a lady.
How can I lose this tournament?
Davidi Kitai's fiancée comes to his aid again.
Yeah, I feel like I found the big love of my life. Travel like 8 months per year with my fiancée, Caroline.
He proposed to me on the 24th of February. All our friends and family say all the time, oh my God, he's gonna propose you for sure in Bahamas. And then he's gonna propose you in Panama. But no, he completely bluffed me in Brussels. He told me we go to a restaurant with a friend. His friend called and he said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. Just come over the hotel and have a drink. When we arrived in the room, I saw a cameraman, a photographer, and 2 musicians. And then he proposed me, he go on the floor and he asked me. I was crying so much. So, yeah, he really bluffed me very well.
We're gonna be married in September. So, yeah, it's one reason more to win this tournament.
And now the way you proposed looks really, really lame. You're welcome.
So we're still eight-handed here in Monaco. And Michael Kolkovic has got kings.
You can't spell Kolkovic without a couple of Ks. Coco's got the Coco hand.
He opens with a raise to 145,000.
And now he's putting the lime in the cocoa nut.
Call the doctor, wake him up. Round to Khatai, who's in the big blind. He has ace-10 of diamonds.
See, at least now he's in a spot where he doesn't have to get it all in pre-flop.
He just calls.
Getting better than 3-1, and he gets to see 3 cards.
Not the flop he was probably looking for. 9-7 deuce with only 1 diamond.
Yeah, I imagine this will be a check fold.
Here comes the continuation bet from Kolkovic. 165,000.
You'd have to be real optimistic to call here. Oh, wait, I forgot. His fiance's a sorceress. This call would be really loose.
He does call.
Especially because catching up, you still might not be a winner.
The turn card is a jack. Khatai has roughly pot behind. He checks.
All in.
And Kolkovic shoves on him.
Not all that unreasonable. And even though I was surprised by the call on the flop, there's simply no way Khatai can call here. And if he wins a couple big all-ins twice, then loses by calling it off here, the poker gods may never forgive him.
He lets it go. Kolkovic adds 400k to his stack.
King, queen.
Je t'en montre deux si tu veux.
That was nice.
So Khatai loses a large chunk of what he just won in that double up against Paniak. He's playing 12 big blinds. Klatt still leads the final 8 with 68 big blinds, but Sorrentino isn't far behind. We're still at the 30-60 blind level. Action here is on Maxim Paniak. He folds. Nardin mucks King Deuce. Bondar passes. Ace-9 for Klatt.
Tight is right, IMO.
The table shorty. 8-5 for Khatai. Nah.
Ugh.
Diego Zaita folds the button. So round to Sorrentino in the small blind, who's got pocket 8s. He's got Kolkovic in the big blind. And things got a little feisty between these two earlier.
Mommy and Daddy were fighting.
Sorrentino raises to 155,000. Ace-10 for Kolkovic.
That is a hand.
He calls the raise. Heads up to the flop.
His hand's slightly under-repped.
Ace-Queen-7. Kolkovic outflops Sorrentino.
Pocket 8s does not have to bet this flop.
But he will bet. 170,000.
So I think his goal here is to try to fold out random overcards, take the guesswork out of the hand.
A call from Kolkovic. 3 diamonds on the turn. Sorrentino has 3% equity. He checks.
And this will be a good spot for a bet from Kolkovic.
$185,000.
I think in general you should be betting a little bit more here. Lots of queens will call you, worse aces, but this might be perfectly sized for 8s.
Yeah, this hand is going to the river. Queen of Hearts, pairing the board. Sorrentino checks. And Kolkovic checks behind. 8, no good.
Pretty cautious play all around. Maybe it's because they exchanged some words and even more is at stake now than there already was.
Pretty even between these two. Sorrentino on 3.57 million. And Michael Kolkovic sitting on a stack of 3.48 million. Well, there's been quite the run for the French real estate agent, whose unique playing style has kept him amongst the big stacks for the past 3 days.
Je pense que les autres joueurs, ils savent très bien que je suis pas un professionnel. J'aime bien jouer des mains un petit peu fantaisistes, je dirais. Parce que j'arrive beaucoup en fait à jouer, je joue un peu plus la personne et mon jeu et je me fie un peu plus au feeling à chaque coup. J'ai pour stratégie de jouer contre les gros tapis parce que pour moi, quand j'ai un gros tapis, malgré tout, on reste prudent. Moi, ça me fait moins peur qu'eux parce que je suis un peu plus détaché. C'est vraiment, je joue comme une passion et du coup, j'ai l'impression que ça me donne un avantage psychologique parfois. On va dire d'essayer de jouer sans justement me laisser dépasser. J'essaye de pas trop penser au prix qu'il y a à gagner, mais le but c'est de gagner un trophée.
Well, Kolkovic is back in action and facing a 3-bet from Maxim Paniak. He opened with Jack-10. He has been re-raised by queens.
This would be one of those situations where if this dude had any kind of fear or cared about the money, he would not see a flop. But we already know what he thinks about all that, don't we?
He's also out of position.
Pretty sure he has the same feeling on that he has about the money.
Kolkovic calls.
It's a royal flush draw, James.
The flop is Jack 9-9. This could get Kolkovic into trouble. He has paired his Jack.
Danger.
Checks to the man with the pre-flop betting lead. And Paniak is continuing. 290,000.
The good news for Kolkovic is that he doesn't tend to get too crazy with his solid but beatable hands.
Kolkovic calls.
And when you call flop here, you're pretty much committed to calling the turn too.
The turn card is a 7. Paniak now an 86% favorite. He checks behind.
What a gift.
10 of diamonds on the river. So Kolkovic with 2 pair, jacks and 10s, but Paniak winning with queens and 9s. And he checks behind.
Everyone playing very cautiously here at the final table. Money jumps are big. Paniak obviously not as laissez-faire about it as Kolkovic. I don't know what laissez-faire means. Is it applicable here?
Yes, although the pronunciation was a bit off. So Paniak sitting on 3.2 million, Kolkovic down to 2.8 million as the penultimate day of the Monte Carlo main event continues. Two players to lose before play concludes for the night here at the PokerStars Championship presented by Monte Carlo Casino. Blinds of 40,000, 80,000 with a 10,000 ante.
The real poker started yesterday.
Former chip leader Romain Nardin will be first to act. He's got aces.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's right, be real cool.
180.
He raises from under the gun. Bondar folds. Klatt says no to that. Davidi Kitai is still the short stack. He's got ace-8. Passes. Diego Zaita is out. Raffaele Sorrentino's on the button. Doesn't have a hand he wants to play. Michael Kolkovic is in the small blind with king-9.
King-9 off, out of position with action behind. We've hit peak Coco.
Well, Maxim Paniak is now getting a good price. He calls out of the big blind with 7-6 of diamonds, and we are going 3-way to the flop. Queen, Jack, 6. That's a gut shot for Kolkovic. Bottom pair for Paniak. Nardin still ahead with his overpair. It's been checked to him.
This is a pretty good flop for aces. You don't want the board to get any wetter, but for now you're happy there's lots of pieces potentially out there.
Nardin continues for 260,000.
Have we got an eye on the Coco meter? Are we still peak Coco?
Kolkovic is reaching for chips.
Big ones.
Oh my, this is a massive and ill-timed semi-bluff from Kolkovic. He's raised it to 860,000.
He's raising a dude who raised under the gun and then just continued into two opponents on a really scary board. If this Coco were any more peak, it would violate the Paris Accord.
All in.
Nardin shoves.
Here's the sickest part. Kolkovic is kind of priced in.
Tell me, please.
Yeah, it's not that much more to call.
He is getting the right odds, but just... no, not this way.
Kolkovic makes the call.
Nardin, for not the first time in this tournament, finds himself on the good side of a huge pot.
J'ai choisi le bon coup, moi.
J'ai deux as, hein? Roi 9, good shot.
Yeah, king-9.
Un peu de magie.
And when two big stacks go to war, the short stack loves it.
So Nardin is the player at risk here, but he is a 4-1 favorite, and he just has to fade a 10. Here comes the turn card. It's a 10!
That's a shame.
Wow. Now, Nardin can still make a better straight. He needs a king on the river to survive.
He shouldn't even be in this position.
The river card is a deuce, and the start of day chip leader is out in 8th.
I can't even really believe what just happened. That was spectacular.
A hand that was grotesque and marvelous in equal proportions.
Yeah. Wake me up before you Coco. Wham!
And Michael Kolkovic is tourney boss once again. Meanwhile, Davidi Kitai is on life support with just 5 big blinds, and he cannot believe he's just laddered. He's just locked up another 20,000 euros.
Nice work not playing that hand.
Okay.
Davidi Kitai, ready to catch some cards.
Well, he's in the big blind here, which means 20% of his stack is already invested in the pot.
What a sweat.
Action folded to Stacks McNasty over there, Michael Kolkovic. Queen 7 off, he passes. King 10 of spades for Maxim Paniak and a raise to 180k.
Oh, hey, Bondar, thanks for joining us.
Klatt is in the small blind. He folds. What does Khatai have? Ace 3 of spades.
Well, this hand in this position is always a shove or a fold, and it's way more often going to be a shove.
Khatai just calls.
Basically an all-in.
Is he going to execute the old school stop and go? Well, he's paired his 3 on the flop, and now he's all in.
Stop and go it is.
Yes. Oof.
I do not think he expects Paniak to fold very often, but he's got to like it when Paniak doesn't call right away.
King, queen.
Close. Well, Paniak has to call, and Davidi Kitai is at risk once again, but he's ahead. Paniak looking for a king or a 10 to eliminate him.
Oh, I hear Caroline.
Don't call for cards when you're ahead.
Completely agree with that.
The turn card is a 7, a safe card for Khatai. Has to fade a king or a 10 on the river.
She won over Paniak.
The river is a 10!
This is the end.
And Davidi Kitai is out in 7th place.
Nice playing with you guys. See you.
The last remaining former champ falls, bubbling our 6-handed final table.
Sorry.
No problem.
And guess what? He still gets to walk out of here wearing a triple crown and an engagement ring.
And scores his 16th main event cash, just shy of 80,000 euros. So it's Michael Kolkovich who'll come into the final day as chip leader. One of these 6 will be crowned a champion. Sadly, there will be no second title for Davidi Kitai.
I started the day with a good stack, so I was confident, but I was sick. And then I had not many cards, so I just played tight today, so really no regret. It was a lot of fun. My fiancée is supporting me a lot. She's like my lucky charm, yeah. So as you can see, she can call the cards, and it's come most of the time.
Next time, there's just one thing on everyone's mind.
The trophy.
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 Gagner un trophée.
And they're all determined to win it.
I am all in. Call. Call.
Call.
All in.
Just lucky.